Come here, you dudes.
Come on in.
Come here. Come on, just start.
Hi.
You guys want to be on the show?
Yeah.
You look great in your costumes. Come over here. Stand close, Caden. What are you, just a soccer player?
No. I didn't want to wear my costume.
Oh, why not?
Because it's very uncomfortable.
Oh, well, I
I didn't
understand
want to
that.
also wear the headpiece.
I understand that.
Things are happening here.
All right, go ahead and start.
Are we started? We're not started. Are we started?
You haven't run the thing yet.
It is. It's on you, but it's not.
Oh, so
We're having technical difficulties, is what we're having.
Take 5.
No, stay right here. Stay right here, dude.
Hold on. Are we having technical? What is happening?
Man, your mouth.
Oh no, we are started. We are on.
Hello, friends.
Look at how terrible this is. Hold on. I'm gonna go fix the camera.
It's okay for right now. They're not going to be here for long.
It's missing half of it.
Half of Caden.
It's not even in the middle. No, I don't want
No,
to.
I'm not with the doggy.
No, let Caden hold the dog. Okay, you got this, Corinne. Don't let the dog. All right. All right. My friends, hello. I'm sorry for this crazy beginning, but Colt just happened to bring over his dear children, and
Like as the stream was starting, they're running down the stairs. I'm like, who is that?
and yesterday, of course, we had David's services, and so it's been a very emotional couple of days for us, and I want to thank you all for all. Camera Mendy, you're killing my diatribe.
I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, but look how much better the camera looks
Okay,
now.
isn't that much better? Stop leaning over, kid, and stay. So they're in their costumes, and we got the new little puppy, and I just want to tell you all, truly, I've received so many wonderful messages and well wishes, and we are so thankful for this Gooey community and the support that you give us, and I want you guys all to repeat after me. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
May all your adventures,
My adventures.
and look right at the camera and say, and point at it, except for you. You don't have to, Corinne, and say, be sticky.
Be sticky.
Yes! Ha-ha! All right, get out of here. Nobody wants you around.
You have to bring me
Rotten
back the
children.
dog, though.
Give me a kiss.
Yeah.
No. Why do you say he looks like a gremlin? He just
Yes.
looks like a puppy.
It does look like a
It
pillow.
looks like a
It
pillow.
looks like a pillow for sure. All right, it was wonderful to see you, wonderful children. Yes, as you know, it's a low-budget production, so you never know what you're going to get around here, especially even Camera Mandy, and I don't know what we're going to get around here. So, no, we had a celebration of life for our dear David yesterday, and it was magnificent and heartwarming and heart-wrenching, and there was literally hundreds of people that showed up because David was beloved and Kimmy beloved in this community. They do a lot for charity and have helped a lot of people and made a lot of friends. And it was wonderful. So thank you, truly. I cannot tell you, Mandy, I'm right? I mean, it's unbelievable. All the nice things that people have said and all the messages that they have sent. And you
Yeah, no,
need to cut to yourself now. you know.
Okay. No, it's and I want to say thank you. For
Notice I have to direct along with be the host. It's tough.
Oh my gosh. I'm so tired. It's been a long week.
It has been a long week.
But no, it's been wonderful. Thank you for giving us some time this week. I know we haven't been nearly as active as we normally were
Yes.
because we did a lot for actually putting together both services that we had for David. And I feel very blessed that to be a part of David's life and that I got to do I got to make a really beautiful video, yeah, and we can't post it because we'll get copyright claims since we used a song that from Wiz Khalifa.
It's okay, they don't need to know.
Yeah, but
It's a very
anyway,
nice video.
I know. I'm just going on. I'm just like so. I'm also so tired. I don't know if you can tell, but anyway, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for our community here at Gooey Cube.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being so kind to us as we work through all the stuff.
Yes.
So,
all right.
yeah.
So, but we are going to move on because honestly, if you knew David, he'd be like all of this stuff that we were doing, all the crying and weeping and the gnashing of teeth and all of that stuff. He'd be like, David had this little laugh that he used to do all the time. It was kind of like, ha ha. I would do that all the time, and he would be like, "What are you guys doing? Ah, this is silly." So anyway, we're going to remember David well, and I'm excited to have him appear in Guys and Gags after my discussion was with Luke, and so you'll get to meet him and enjoy him in the world of Zyathé. So we have fun stream today. I'm pretty excited about it. We're going to do more on the Mournwood. We've got some things to talk about the Mournwood that I think are going to make you very interested. We've got some great social media stuff that we want to bring forth. We're going to do the last week of the giveaway, right? This is the very last you don't
chance.
get to enter next week, right? Is that correct?
No, next week we're going to draw for it.
Don't you think we should give them?
No, I think that we should draw for it.
All right.
Y'all just know that I'm the one who advocates for moving these things through, and
I just want to give people who on the stream lots of chances.
I'm throwing you under the bus hardcore right now.
I completely admit it. I want all of you people who support us on Goo Morning to have lots of chances.
They've had lots of chances. They've had like 7 weeks of entries.
Right, and this is the mushy map, right? This is the
So this is the gamers map and the messed up legends lore and libations.
Yes.
So we'll do entries for that later.
Highly collectible, right? This is the thing.
Collectible.
This is what's so weird, right? Camera Mendy is like stuff that it has mistakes is actually more valuable than like the regular stuff.
Well, we have to get we are working very hard to get popular enough that it should be collectible in the future. So, but it is signed by everyone.
I do believe in my heart of hearts.
At some point, yes.
We are making some of the finest stuff that has ever been made in the TTRPG
I do
space.
agree with that.
And I think more and more people find out about it. And we have a wonderful community. And I have every faith that Gooey Cube is going to be a very popular company as the years roll forward.
Yes.
Even though it's a pain in the butt right now, if the truth be told. But it's okay. We just continue on, right? This is what we do. We got all kinds. Think about what we got to do. We got to do Sundestia. We got to do the Monstrica book. We've got to do those special stories. Yeah, we got to do the Underdelve. We got to do all those special stories. The Mud Mounds.
Before all this stuff happened with David, we had started recording our podcast. We had finally started doing the recording of Zyathé.
Well,
we'll get back to it.
No, we're going to continue that. And I'm going to do the reading from the Anathema Malunax as well today. We'll continue the reading that we started, right?
I'm very excited about what I've heard. Because everyone knows I don't actually write anything for Goo.
Is it okay if I sit back, Camera Mendy?
You can feel free to. I mean, you're clearly not centered here.
Okay, how about if I sit like this?
That makes you less centered.
How about if I sit like this?
I'm just going to not let it bother me at this point.
I'm pretty centered.
Oh my gosh.
And in fact, generally in life, I'm pretty centered, if truth be told.
Oh my God, here we go. I have a puppy in my lap. I'm only Zen right now, so
yeah, you Zen on.
Yeah,
you just Zen on. So okay. So what do we want to do first? We want to do this little social media and put some stuff up there.
Yeah, let's go do social media first, and then we'll talk about.
And Harry, much love. We're going to show David again because you showed him in his full finish, and I thank you for that.
Hold on,
Camera Mendy, by the way, did you know? And I did not even know this. Harry has done over 100 of our characters and monsters and things like that in the world of Zyathé.
That's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, so if you get a chance, give him a little support on his Patreon on my mini factory. Okay, it's called Harry's Minis. Really easy to remember.
We can go ahead and
Harry and his minis, right? Harry's Minis.
Yeah, we can go ahead and talk about.
Yeah, we can talk about Creative Goo, and Carrie's also doing, of course, Creative Goo on Thursday nights, and I would have been there this last Thursday, other than the situation with David and the circumstance with all the family and friends being in town and all of that stuff. So, but there is David, or should I do David? David.
I will leave that up to you. I'm not the person.
What do y'all think, David or David?
They sounded the same to me.
No, there's apostrophe between the two A's or apostrophe between the two I's. David or David?
I like the second one, I think.
David?
Yeah, I got a little bit more attitude.
Yes, well, we will see what the chat says about that.
Yeah.
But Harry, he looks great, and he was a dashing rogue. I promise you that. Yes, very nice.
That's a great sculpt.
Yeah.
So, and I did catch a little bit of Creative Goo on Thursday. I was watching with Adam.
Notice how she hasn't cut to herself yet. So I'm sitting here like this,
I'm just so tired.
Looking like a.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm just saying. Like I'm. So
I don't
tired.
want to sit here looking like a lump.
Hold
no
on.
one wants to be a lump.
I have to my stream deck. I need to get it reset up. This is so. I'm sorry, guys. We are like so all over the place. We'll be better next.
Low budget production.
I promise you. Hi, friends. Okay. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I caught some of Creative Goo on Thursday. And it was really interesting because Harry was talking about how you need to structure things. So even though this might look really good like this, it may not be printable.
Correct. And that's the critical thing that has to happen. Yeah.
Structurally, it needs to... Oh, another really interesting thing. So under his boot there, Harry actually has a foot.
Yeah.
Like there's like an actual like designed foot under the clothes. So anyway, I thought that was like really interesting. You wouldn't think that those are like the details that you would like need to structure out, but yeah. Anyway, it was super interesting, and I know Harry's trying to get some guests on for Creative Goo.
Yes.
So if you are someone who's creative, I'll definitely go on the show at some point and talk about videography.
Yeah.
I know Alphinius will go on and talk about writing. Anyway, so if you're someone who is creative, this is a great way to like get some community involvement.
There's a number of miniature painters too that are really, really good that I know are in the den that would probably love to come on as well.
Yeah.
But Camera Mandy, when you think about all the stuff we got to do in the future, think about this. We got the Isle of Undu, right? And I'm excited about that. We've got the mud mounds, right? We've also got carnival crashers, right? So there's a lot of things to do. So keep telling all of your friends about all of us, because we gotta keep this tiny little machine rolling best as we can. Yes, but I promise you that everything that we do will be magnificent. That is, when we talk about the Mournwood later, I can't wait to tell you all the additions and things that we've put into this. So all of you back to Kickstarter, you're going to get a lot of nice, what we call kickers on the Kickstarter. So, all right, Camera Mandy, what's next?
Okay. Speaking of miniature painters, Nick has been posting some really beautiful stuff.
Very wonderful painter.
Yeah, this picture, I mean, first off, it's a great picture.
Yes.
I just love the expression and the detail.
Yes, this is a fawn, I believe, and it gives me a little bit of reminding of our Unseelie Fairy, right? But this is a fawn, and you can just see how beautiful she is coming together. And
look at her eyes, like the detail, even in like the corner of her eyes, like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. The dimension and just.
So I learned
stunning.
about painting eyes, and everybody says, "How do you paint eyes? How do they get that thing?" So what you do is you first of all, you don't need a brush with one single thing. Right? Doesn't work. You actually want a brush that has a very fine tip, and then what you do is you dip it in there, and then you paint a black horizontal. Sort of a line that usually, if the eyes are detailed enough, there actually are edges, and then you paint the black line. Then you let that dry, and then you paint a white line over the top, which will, of course, be the whites of the eye, right? And then you make a single dot in the color that you want the eye to be, and then if you're really good, you put a single dot of black in the middle of that. And that's how you paint an eye. And usually, for those of us of older age, you will need a magnifying glass to do that. I used to do it in my youth when I was much younger. I used to do it without that. You also typically don't always need to put like this is amazing. I think there's blue in her eye. Yes, her eye is actually blue. Camera Mandy, I'm looking at it from a distance.
I'm not sure.
I think it's actually, but anyway, it's magnificent, and you can even see a little bit of almost what looks like eyeshadow kind of thing going on up above the eye. I mean, it's wonderful work, Nick. So
I was looking. We were at we have a local gaming store called Petrie's. And I was there last night, and I was looking at the minis, and like they do have some really incredible minis, but I am just not the person who's ever patient enough to be able.
It's hard.
It's not my talent. Yeah.
But I promise you this. I want to tell you this. This is really important. I am really not a good artist at all. I can't draw things very well. I don't have any of that artistic talent. But painting miniatures does not really require that. People who have artistic talent do a better job, but you can do a really nice job of painting miniatures, just learning the techniques, the blending techniques, the dry brushing techniques, how to get the folds of cloaks and those things. So if you look right here, this is very interesting. I hope it's interesting. If you look at the dress or the skirt that is down below, you can see that there is a line. There are lines that are up from the base of the skirt, that are the folds in the skirt, and you can see that on one of them there appears to be, Nick has put a highlight, right? This lighter color, so that you get the shadows in the cloak, or excuse me, in the skirt. So it actually looks like it's more living than just a single color. That is not that hard to do as a amateur painter, and you don't have to have a lot of artistic talent. So once you learn these techniques, you really can churn out some beautiful minis yourself, if that's a hobby that you're interested in. So wonderful, Nick. Thank you for posting these. Yes, let's continue.
Okay. Also artistic. I meant to bring this in. It's at my house right now, but I was running out the door super late this morning.
Oh, Chelsea. Yeah, that's magnificent. Yes, so we'll show it next week.
Yeah, we will show it next week. And I'll bring in the jar of, I got this jar of goo, for you to write in your, it was very sweet because like I ordered the jar of goo just personally. I bought it on my own credit card and everything like that as a gift for you to kind of brighten your times because we were having rough times. I'm just gonna start crying again. Anyway, but I bought it on my Etsy account, which is under Lady Wool Thief, because that was my old hat thing.
Yes.
And it was so sweet. Here, I'll come to myself.
Yes. You're killing me right now.
Yeah. Sorry. So, anyways, I had bought it under a completely different account, nothing that said Camera Mandy on it or anything like that. And I didn't know that she would know that it was me purchasing because I purchased that and I purchased these really beautiful cards that she had done. And I didn't think she would know that it was me, that silly me. But anyways, then I get a message from her, like, Mandy, I'm throwing something else in I've been working on in the background. And I was like, oh my God, she knew it was me. I guess it's not that surprising. I guess I have my profile picture. And it's Mandy McNabb. And I live in Colorado Springs.
So you don't have to be a really big detective. Not to take away from your detective skills, Chelsea, okay? Yes,
that was like a DC like 5 in order to tell. Anyways, so she had done this incredible drawing of the Gooey Cube, and I'll bring it in tomorrow to show you, and we'll post it online specifically. But yeah, and it was just very sweet that she'd been working on this in the background. It was absolutely lovely. So Chelsea, thank you so much. It really brightened my day. And it meant a lot to us that you did that. So
yes.
And Chelsea, you should go on Creative Goo. Her art is
She's
quite phenomenal.
Yes, very, very good artist.
Yes. Anyway, okay. Next up, we have Todd.
Yeah, another wonderful build. I mean, it's just, Todd has this wonderful group that he does all this stuff. And of course, we got a number of builders that put their builds up in the Gooey Den. But it's so fun. I'm a terrain lover, as you know, Camera Mandy. And, this is so just wonderful. It's got this sort of outside the gates feel, right? And there's sort of this little farming area. And then there's the city itself or inside the gates. And I mean, it's just, and by the way, in that top right picture, you look at this, and when you get a pullback and you actually see how big Todd's gaming table is, it's outrageous. It's just huge. I mean, I use a pool table that is quite large. Although Ms. Goo has given me permission, I'm going to do a upgrade. I'm going to swap the pool table. Mike really wants the pool table, so I'm going to give Mike the pool table for Christmas, and then I'm going to get a new table. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. Yes.
Well, I'm curious to see.
To play here in about 3 weeks, which I'm pretty excited about that too. Get a little memory of David. We're all going to have a little libation before that. A little toast to our love, David, and then we're going to play a game. So
sweet.
I'm pretty excited about that. Yes. And then there's this Chet Minton. You used to be my friend.
I love this hat. This hat is beautiful.
Hat.
It's
well,
a
not only that,
hat.
look at his attitude on the face.
I know.
Rocking
a hat gives you power, man.
Whatever.
This is why wizards need to wear them.
Whatever. Well, like I said, one of these days for charity. Yes, when we do that. But that really is a good look, Chet.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, you've gone over to the dark side.
Oh.
How did that go? Luke, I am your father. That's pretty close, right? I liked it better in Spaceballs.
Oh my gosh.
When he did it, right? How many assholes do I have around this? Ship? Right?
Oh
remember
my gosh.
That?
I haven't watched that movie in like 10 years.
Okay, how many remember that, right?
Yeah.
Right, all the asshole scene. He's an asshole, sir, right? I know that, but what's his name, right? Remember all that, right? And then at the end, he pulls this thing down. Keep firing, assholes. Is it okay that I said assholes on Goo Morning?
I think we'll give you a pass this week.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Stephanie.
Okay, so we're coming up here on Genghis Khan.
Yes.
And I have actually some stuff I need to talk to you about that after the thing, so don't let me forget.
Some things to talk about.
Yeah. Anyway, and we're getting, a lot of our friends are going to go vend over there this year, which is really exciting. So definitely check out. We have some of Stephanie's stuff on our table,
yes, we do.
Little
Absolutely.
Dragons. I'm so tired. I am just lagging.
She makes
today.
adorable little dragons.
Yes.
Wonderful, and we're so excited for
up.
Genghis Khan. Camera Mandy, I'm hearing more and more people are coming to Genghis Khan, so it's really, I think we're going to have a lot of gooey folks there.
There we go.
Oh, there she is. Yes, magnificent.
You'll have to forgive me this morning. I was so
Don't
late
move it
this
around
morning. I
so
didn't
much.
bring my
Hold it
coffee.
slowly up close to the camera. There you go. Now don't move it around too much.
It's
right?
like focused on me. That's the problem. But anyway, yeah, super cute. And I'm excited to see what Stephanie brings. And I'm
Marvelous.
excited to see all the rest of the people bring. And I'm excited just to see all of her
Our
friends.
friends, yeah.
Because I'm so
gonna be
tired.
fun.
Okay, next up.
I'm not.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
this
this
is
was
our last
great.
social media for today, but this is so sweet. We can talk about it.
So Adam has commissioned a number of portraits for Adam and Star together, have commissioned a number of portraits together for their family members. And some of them, of course, as you might have seen in the last Goo Morning we did, some of them have passed and they are memorialized in the world of Zyathé. And I did not know he had done this, but he has taken some of those portraits and he has them in his Game Master screen, as you can see right there. And it is wonderful and beautiful. And I was sorely impressed with this. And the picture is great. And look at Adam's little smiley face. You know, he's one of those kind of game masters. You can see that look. He's got that, try to kill my monster.
Adam's a great, and he'll be at Genghis Con,
He
and he's a
will,
great
yes.
game master if you
He
get a chance
really
to play with him.
is.
You
Yes,
get
yes, and
great feedback.
Stars run stuff for us as well. And what a wonderful family and friends to have in the world of Zyathé, and to bring those they love, you know. And like I said, you know, I think that will continue. I think there'll be more and more folks who are memorialized in our world. And this is very unique, Cameramendi. You know, it is not something that others do. And some of them are afraid because of copyright things and all of that stuff, but we do the right things and make sure everybody is signed the right paperwork and all that stuff, and make sure that everything will work so that we can use them as they were intended to be used as characters in the world, right? And that way you get to know them. And I think that is magnificent, just magnificent. So Adam, Star, thank you, my friends. Yeah, beautiful. What's next, Cameramendi?
I think that we're going to move on to the Mournwood.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So as you remember, before sort of we had this tragedy in our family, we were talking a lot about the Mournwood. And the Mournwood is coming together very nicely. Now, if you are used to what we have done before, which is our lore books like West Redestia and East Redestia, we made a big decision as we were going through this process. So those of you who backed the Kickstarter were expecting a book, a single book, lore book of the campaign book that would probably have looked similar to West Redestia or East Redestia. However,
I feel like I'm about to hear something that I have not heard yet.
Well, you just have to listen.
Oh my God, I'm so scared right now.
No, it's nothing to be scared about. It's
okay,
wonderful.
Go ahead.
So as we started looking at the utility of a game book, right? A campaign book, right? Not a book that is really meant for reading and background, which is what West Redestia and East Redestia are. As we began looking at the utility of what we call a regional campaign book and how big the map is going to be and all of that kind of stuff, because all of this needs to be consistent as we go forward in the future, all right? So as we began to look at that, it became clear to us that we needed to do 2 books, not 1. So the Mournwood campaign book is now 2 books. There is the lore book, which has very similar to one of our adventures, and there is the Game Master reference book that is also very similar to our adventures. They will be spiral bound. They will be usable behind your screen much more with the utility of the things that we have done before. And there's probably a few more pages than you originally expected from the materials. So it has NSREs and it has all kinds of interesting locations and personalities that are at those locations. We've included some portraits. Obviously, we can't portrait everything in the campaign book. We've included some handouts for showing, right? We can't do all that as well, but we have given you a nice, what you want to call an arsenal to run a little campaign in the Mournwood on top of running Blood for the Con. So this is really going to be wonderful. So you'll have Blood for the Con, the first chapter, and I'm hoping that as we will announce in Genghis Khan that there will be a second chapter. And then there are 2 side quest adventures, The Shades of Loss, which is a wonderful little tale that Charlie helped us with. And Shades of Loss is totally separate from the campaign, from Blood for the Con entirely. And then there's another side quest adventure called The Truth Lies Cold. And The Truth Lies Cold actually figures directly into Blood for the Con. And in fact, It will be sold along with Blood for the Con as a bonus, So in the future. So if you back the Kickstarter, you'll get both of those as part of your deal. And then, of course, we're doing something else that was not really, I told some people, but I always intended to do it. So we originally are doing the 2 maps of what we call the Eston Shore area, the Fringe area, which shows, of course, Fife and Doo's sundries and supplies. It shows the Shallow Grave Distillery. It shows, Lover's Slip and Hogskeeter Hole and the ruins of Fernastus Keep and all of these cool things that are going on in the Fringe area. And Flemington, by the way, which you are going to love Flemington. I love Flemington. So you're going to love that place. But the problem that I was having with that is that it only showed sort of this small area of what is about a 200 square mile, 180 square mile, something like that. Forests grow and dim and all that stuff, but area. And so this precipitated the next discussion, which was, what is our in-between scale? So we have the continents, yes, and with the world, of course, but even before that. So if you have the world of Zyathé, if you have Encyclopedia Zyatheka's Volume 1, that came with a map that has the entire world on one single 17 by 22 sheet, one poster. Then we have the continents, which, as you know, so far, all of our continents are represented with 8 poster-sized maps, which are marvelous. So west and east for Destia thus far. And then, of course, we have the tiny scale, the very zoomed-in scale, if you will, which shows like our cities and our towns and those kinds of things. So then we decided what was going to be our in-between scale. We did decide that 1 inch equals a mile was going to be our in-between scale. And so everyone who backed the Kickstarter and bought the campaign guide, if you bought the adventure, you won't get this, but if you bought that campaign guide, you will get a 3rd map. And that 3rd map is a full map of the Mournwood, showing all 4 of the regions and a number of little cool places kind of mapped out. And of course, a wonderful tool for you to use with your players. So there's another little kicker you got from the Kickstarter. So we're excited to provide that. Are you okay with that, Camera Mendy? She's giving me the look right now. Camera Mendy.
I'm zen right now.
Oh, so zen, is it?
It's okay. There's not that much more work to do. We got this.
Here, stay on there. I'm going to blow my nose. So, tell everybody who doesn't know just quickly about this little pupper.
Oh, well, we talked about her last week, but basically, we got Lady Gray here, and she's a mini poodle.
And she's a save dog, right? She's
yeah. She's from the Humane Society, but I would not necessarily put her under the category of a rescue because there was like 5 other families.
Oh, everybody was vying for her.
Yeah, we had to win a raffle. But listen, here's the deal. This is what I genuinely feel. Okay, because all these other people were cheating. They said 1 entry per household, but all the couples were putting in 2 names.
Oh.
And my dad had called me. He's like, do you think we should come down and like put our name in for her? And I was like, no, because if the universe wants it to happen, it is going to happen.
What I appreciate about you is you always do the right thing.
Yeah, so we put in one entry for us and did not have anyone extra come down. And guess what? The universe said, she is yours.
Mandy, if you would have been on the stream consistently over the last 4 weeks, I would have given you 4 or 5 more entries. I am a wizard after all.
Make it a progressive raffle for the dog. Anyway.
No, she's adorable.
Yes.
And she had a little surgery, and we got that all fixed, right? So
we're doing like physical therapy with her to fix some little problems she had with her leg. But anyway, I know people did not join to talk about my puppy.
I think everyone thinks your puppy is adorable, and I'm betting the chat is blowing up with how cute your puppy is.
Everyone has gone dead silent. It's totally understandable because we're in the middle of talking about all the great things that are happening with the Mournwood.
All right. So as part of the Mournwood, I might as well do this reading right now, and you can show. Actually, let's show the pictures.
You want to do pictures first?
Let's do the pictures first.
Okay, let's do pictures.
So the book will be spiral bound, as I mentioned, and it will have just some wonderful artworks. And I'm gonna, as we progress here over the next couple of weeks with Goo Morning Zyathé, I'm going to take sections of the book and kind of show you what's going on. And
do you want to show the map first?
Oh yeah, you can show the map. Yeah, so you're gonna have to. Can you zoom in on this camera, Mandy, a little bit?
I can go like this.
So I really want you to understand this is 2 17 by 22 map sections put together. okay? So this is a huge map. And for those of you who have played Peculiar Brews at the conventions or have a copy of Peculiar Brews, by the way, keep track of that. There's not many of those in the world, and there won't be many. On the left-hand side of the map, of course, you can see the Twinning Falls Bridge, which is called the East Fall Bridge, right, also. And then right there...
if I zoom in here, does that show?
No, that's a cut-in piece. Stay with what you were at.
All
It's
right.
okay. It's all right. But you can use your little mouse if you want to. So I'm down in the left-hand corner.
No one can see my mouse.
Oh, that's right. Can't show that. Okay. Well, anyway, down in that left-hand corner, right, the southwesterly corner, the buildings you see very close to the road are Pfeifendoo's Sundries and Supplies, and then north of that is the Shallow Grave Distillery, and then further north of that is Fornastus Keep, the ruins of the old keep, right? And so this is where all of the sort of the Peculiar Brews and this Marvelous Blood for the Con take place, is sort of in this area. In the middle there, you can see Luna Glow Lake, which we showed a picture of, which I bet you didn't grab. Oh, should grab that one. We'll show it next week. You can see Luna Glow Lake, and you can see the mines on the right-hand side, and then all the way up to the north there, you can see, if you follow the road and then go left of the road, which is the Grey Emperor's Highway, by the way, which was originally built to help facilitate traffic from the northern realms of the Republic. And of course, it's because of the Mournwood situation, only significant caravans travel there.
Tell me about the Great Emperor.
So this was a tale, right? They called it the Grey Emperor's Highway because Garen actually built it to be this. It was supposed to be this really cool, wonderful thing, right? And the problem is the Mournwood has its issues, and of course, it turned the Grey Emperor's Highway into kind of a not so great place to travel. So now people travel. If you look at the map of Zoranthia, you actually see there are two roads running on the other side of the Mistroon River coming from the north to Darken Haven. And the reason why that is because of what's happened in the Mournwood. So the Grey Emperor's Highway is still traveled, but typically only by relatively well protected caravans. It is faster. It is still more efficient, even though the track has run a little bit into disrepair. But it is fraught with danger, and so you don't. If you're a single traveler, you're coming on the west side of the Mistroon. You're not coming down this road. Oh. But anyway, up there in the north, to the left of the Grey Emperor's Highway, you can see a bunch of buildings. That is Flemington, and like I said, I think you're going to love Flemington. So we have made this wonderful place. And my friends, is not Edvard's work magnificent on our maps? I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, there just aren't many maps out there in the world of TTRPGs that look like this. I mean, Camera Mandy. I mean, it is just wondrous, you know. And I told him the story of the Mournwood, and that's why he kind of brought in this blue and you know, and just these wonderful places, and I just want to go there. Yes, I just want to go there. And I do.
You want to go to the place that will turn you mad?
No, well, you know, we got mechanics for that. So I think that there's a ways around it. And so, you know, of course, you never want to. I mean, what's the fun of going into an impossible problem, right? It's what Kirk said about the Kobayashi Maru scenario, right? It's just kind of silly because there's a no-win, right? It's just some weird test, right? So there are things in the Mournwood that can help stave off the madness and allow for good adventuring therein. And that, of course, figures into the lore as well. So the tale is marvelous. So, all right, let's show some of the pictures. I don't know. I didn't mean to grab that one, cameraman.
What about this?
But
one?
no, I did grab that. That was from Wave.
Oh, that was from Darkenhaven.
So,
that
no,
was a social media thing I didn't show. Hold on, I meant to show that. Here, we'll just take a second.
Pardon us for this commercial interruption because cameraman was. So yes, this is Wavecrest. And Hans had put up had put up this wonderful Scottish castle. And I can't remember the name off the top of my head, and I apologize for doing that. But I looked at it, and I thought, that is Wavecrest more as a city. So it's bigger, right? You can see how much larger Wavecrest is in the picture on the right. And of course, it's inspired by it. It's not, we didn't want to copy it. But it just really felt like Wavecrest. And so that was what we did. And then, Marvelous. I guess you won't be able to really see it, but that's the castle there of Wavecrest on the bottom right. And this is where we get so much inspiration. This is why we love the dead, right? All of a sudden, someone posts gives us some like, wow, let us try to use that as a basis, as a foundation, as inspiration for something special in the world of Zyathé. So, yes, all right, here we go. So first of all, the dragon tree was the cover that we decided upon, and I know.
I mean, that was the right choice.
Oh,
that says so much about what the Mournwood is.
Yes.
So that was a good choice.
Yes, and I don't know how many of you all are designers and all of that stuff, but zoom back in, cameraman. Just stay what you did with it. I love that, But I just, there's so many little touches that are in here with our type, and just how Lindsay worked hard to get this green right where she wanted it to be complementary and also contrasty of the sort of the gold of the dragon tree, and it's just. Yeah, that's a wonderful, wonderful cover. Gosh, it's good. All right. So anyway, so the Mournwood is one of our lore books, right? So it's going to have the timeline and history and all of that kind of stuff that is in there. Go ahead and take us to the next one. So cameraman, do I need to read this? Should I read this? I don't know if I need to read this. I can't remember if I read this.
I can't remember if you read it
So
either.
do you remember if I read this Zevin Akrama, Lore Master and Prophet, this prophecy from the Anathium Malunax? I can't remember if I did. It's really, really good. So the Anathium Malunax, the title was actually Josh's, and Josh and Kevin helped us a tremendous amount. Of course, Carrie and AJ and I have also dove in here really, really hard to make this thing extra special. Because it complements Darkenhaven, and we want, there is a goal here to make Darkenhaven, the Gloomport, this area, the greatest, or at least one of the greatest city supplements that have ever been created. That is really one of our goals, and we are going to achieve that. But part of the idea of O is very important that we ponder. That they don't believe, the people who follow O really do not believe they're doing evil. They really believe they're doing the right thing. They are trying to fix the problems of the past. And so thus was the genesis of this Anathium Malunax. And the Anathium Malunax, which is very similar to the sections in the Cyclopedia Volume 1, The Weird World, which comes from the Ventenium Alunax, all right? And so when you read this, it really comes from a perspective of, hey, this is not a bad thing, right? And so this is the wondrousness of what we've tried to create, right? Which was sort of this trilateral commission in the world of Zyathé. You have the gods and the dead of Ovar. You have the lords of corruption, who are wholly evil. This is evil incarnate, right? They want to consume everything, take. They just want to take, right? Which is the basis of much evil, right? Is taking, right? The taking from others, right? All manner of things. And then there is Oavao, which is a singular entity, but also made of 9, right? And this is the wonderful story that lies around this. And those 3 are now opposed, in opposition, in the planes, in the heavenly realms, whatever you want to call them, right? And they are trying to wield their influence in the Eterniverse. And they want to win, all 3 of them. And so that gives us this magnificent storyline, right? That allows us for conflicts with the gods themselves, conflicts between Oavao, because even though they are singular, they have different personalities, right? And even conflicts with the lords of corruption. So they have those mini conflicts. Then they are together as best as they can, right? That whole story, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? They are together as best as they can in trying to achieve their greater aims against the other 2. So this is for narrative, right? This is about story building, right? And one of these days, cameraman, we'll do that I'll go on Creative Goo and talk about story building and the basis of it and all the things that help make lore really special. So that is, I hope I'm not boring people. Goodness gracious. My friends, if I'm going off here and boring you with stuff, you need to say it. I don't mind. I never mind somebody saying, Alphinius, get on with it. I don't mind you saying that ever.
What about when I say it?
Well, you annoy me. So. Anyway, so when you open the book, you're going to see a dedication. It's going to come from Kevin. It's going to come from Josh, and it's going to come from Carrie, AJ, and I.
Harry says it wouldn't be boring if you were wearing a hat.
Whatever, Carrie.
No,
I see
that
you
was
out
Harry.
there. Oh, Harry. I see you out there, Harry. Yes. So I do want you to read what Carrie and AJ and I dedicated this to, if you would do this.
The three of us are proud to dedicate this book to our marvelous families and friends who encourage us so mightily in all we are doing as we craft this world. It is humbling to have so many caring people at our backs who lift us up daily as we strive to create magnificent lore and enthralling experiences for tables around the world.
And my friends, that is more meaningful today than it was when we first wrote it, because of all the wonderful support you've given us. And it is a pleasure to dedicate this to you and to our families. So, all right, let's continue before I start crying. So this is the first page which speaks of the Anathema Malunax. And I'm going to continue to read from that because, as you remember, Camera Mandy, before all of this difficult situation occurred, we were reading from the Anathema Malunax. And if you remember, and I might as well do this right now if you want me to, or I can wait, whatever you prefer.
What do you want to do?
Well, this is sort of a rehash of what happened in the Weirded World, right? I'll do it. I'll read it.
Okay.
So this was kind of a rehash of what happened in the Weirded World, right? But it was a rehash from the perspective of those who are influenced by Oavao.
This is the part that I like about our lore, and this is something
Cut to you.
I have to find the button.
Oh, so goodness gracious! I have to push the button.
I have to find the button.
It's so terrible. Push the button, Camera Mandy.
Sorry, I'll be better next week. I pinky promise. So there we have this book club going in Discord.
Yes.
And there was a whole discussion about unreliable or reliable narratives that we have in Cyclopedia 1, because it's all written from the perspective of other characters. And as we know and have talked about consistently, is history is warped greatly by who is writing it.
Correct.
And so what I really like about the idea of this is that you can bring in different thoughts and different ideas from different people and create a much richer perspective on a history.
Yes, more realistic,
yes.
More truthful, right?
Anyway, that was
so
all I
in
was
the
saying.
Anathema Malunax, we set the stage with actually speaking again to what happened in the creation and the coming forth of the lords of corruption and the deception that happened with the gods of evil and all of that stuff, but a little bit of a different perspective on it, a little bit of a different thought on it. And then, of course, as you remember the last time, if you do remember, right, we spoke of the God's War and all of this that was happening. And the Maker was asleep, and the gods were dying, and the world was being destroyed and consumed, and the Eterniverse was being affected, and the planes were being affected. It was terrible. Right? It was really, really terrible. And if you remember, I'll read the last couple of paragraphs from the previous section. So this is from the Anathema Malunax from the Mournwood book. Okay. As a cancer, the conflict spread across the entirety of creation. Nothing was left untouched by its devastation. Godly servants in the planes and the races of the life world ferociously fought one another, employing all manner of powerful constructs, magics, weaponry, and other devastating methods in their attempts to win the day. Thus did the stench of death, limitless death, fill all things. Though unheard of, even the immortal gods themselves were not immune to death. While it had been ordained by Avova that the gods should not pass on, the gods' war would prove that this was not the case. For in their fervor, the gods, once as brothers and sisters, abiding in relative harmony, now feverishly hungered to destroy each other, no matter the cost. And the cost, my friends, was unfathomable. And this next chapter is called The Greatest of Loss. Then it came to pass that Drunge, the untrue, who is the god of deception, determined to end the lives of Evoke, the bright lady, and Branad, the lord of roguish ways. for the discord between the three gods was great, dating back far before the Gods' War. Indeed, in the early days following the creation of the life world, Evoke and Branad approached Drunge to aid in the creation of a race of people, in the same manner as other deities were doing in this time. The mortal beings Evoke and Branad had crafted initially were naive and dangerously childlike, and the pair wished for Drunge to imbue the race with a measure of his sly ways. However, the dark god's nature was to deceive, and he brought far too much of his character into the new people, acting against the will of Evoke and Branad. This angered the two gods greatly, and sometime later, unbeknownst to Drunge, they destroyed their creation out of fear of what the race might become. This action vexed the god of deception, causing him to bear a grudge that festered within him over the millennia. His anger further fueled as his followers were pushed to the fringes of Zyathic society. Indeed, many who worshipped Drunge were deemed outcasts by those who held to the ideals of goodness and neutrality. It's good right now, cameraman, isn't it? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes. So I want to tell you this. This is what we're trying to do so much, my friends, is to really make it real. We want everything to feel like this is fantastically plausible. But let us continue on the tale of Drunge and the terrible thing he is about to do. Thus, when the lords of corruption promised immeasurable power to the evil gods, Drunge vowed to use that power for greater things than simply destroying the two impertinent gods who had slighted him so greatly. Yea, my children, he would conquer their planes through a great deception, as his nature demanded. Drunge then called upon Blechendrunk and the glutton, and Sleeth, the lord villain, to aid him in hatching a dark scheme to settle the score. After some time of plotting, the three brought forth their vile method. Drunge then challenged Evoke and Branad to field their armies against his forces. To ensure that no deception was present, Haleona, the freedom ringer, and Thealos, Lady of Martyrs, would be called upon to bear witness of the battle. With this promise, Branad and Evoke agreed. For his part, Drunge was confident in his abilities, for he believed he had the power of the netherflow coursing through his immortal body, and indeed he did for a time. Thus he did not care if Haleona and Thealos stepped in to fight him as well, for in his heart he believed he could destroy them all. Now the gods of good were wise beyond measure. They knew better than to place their trust in Drunge, and secretly counseled to uncover any nefarious actions that might come their way. And thus they prepared their own plan. Then at the appointed hour, Drunge, Evoke, Branad, and Haleona brought their armies to the celestial battlegrounds. However, Thealos was not among them. Indeed, she was nowhere to be seen. The horns of war then blew, and Evoke began the conflict by raising a mighty ward, protecting the forces of good against Drunge's army, which was overflowing with fearful magics from the netherflow, and the battle was joined. And so also began Drunge's deception. For as the celestial battlegrounds thundered with the sounds of the godly servants clashing, Blechendruk and Sleeth crept forth from the abyss to enact the second part of the trio's scheme. The gluttonous one and the lord villain descended upon the plains of Evoke and Branad, which were largely abandoned for the fight. The few guardians and sentries left behind fell quickly as Blechendruk and sated his hunger, grabbing left and right as he cast one planar servant after another down his mighty gullet, leaving none to survive. Sleeth, who with his gargantuan mace slaughtered each opponent with a roaring laugh that echoed through the Havenal realms. And if this were not enough, the great forces of the two gods came forth also, leaving death and destruction in their wake. Then, just as all seemed lost, the plains boomed with the fury of an enraged goddess, and all eyes turned to see a magnificent form soaring towards the gods of evil, burning as a sun with the flames of righteousness. For the gods of goodness and neutrality were not fools. Indeed, during the gathering of Evoke, Bernard, Haliona, and Thealos, it was decided that Thealos would act as a sentry in the places between planes, which are the pockets of metaphysical corridors that separate each of the deific realms. Though none of them knew Drunge's plan, they were certain it could be discovered if they had a watcher. When Thealos saw Bletcherdruk and Sleeth leave their abyss with their friends and demons in tow, she knew where they were heading. Thereafter, she quickly gathered her own forces and followed in secret behind the two gods of evil. Then, when the two began their assault on the Havenel plain, she attacked. Thealos engaged Bletcherdruk and Sleeth in battle, but was quickly outmatched. She was just 1 against 2, and those two were flushed with the terrifying power of the Netherflow. The goddess brought forth a most valiant effort, but she knew she could never prevail. Then, as another great blow from Sleeth's mace drove her across the field of battle, Thealos made a decision. Feeling her deific animus dwindling, the Lady of Martyrs reached into the highest cycles of the Everflow, bringing forth a massive swath of magical energy, such that it was beyond her ability even to control. The surging of the Zyathé screamed within her being, causing her body to spasm and contort, and it seemed for a moment that she would be wholly consumed. But then, with a mighty word of power, she released the magic, allowing it to tear through her body to strike the two she was battling. The force greatly injured Bletcherdruk and nearly slew Sleeth as the two were engulfed in a seething cascade of white fire. But Thealos, though grievously wounded, was not yet finished, for thereafter, with her dying breath, she whispered another word of power, this one even greater than the one before. Immediately, the two attacking gods, along with their charges, were cast back into the abyss by a mighty force, ne'er to return. In the same moment, Drunge suffered the same fate as his plotting brethren, as he was also torn from the battlefield along with his forces and driven back into the abyssal plain. He howled with anger, and his rage was tremendous. With all his might he strove to break the spell, but the power the goddess had unleashed was unbreakable. Indeed, their dark plot had been foiled. In the aftermath, Thealos' body lay upon the ground, fractured, scorched, and torn asunder. Yes, the goddess of martyrs had fulfilled the measure of her creation and principle by sacrificing herself to protect those she loved. And in the moments that followed, all fighting stopped as the cosmos lay in odd silence while the essence of Thealos faded, another of the gods to die. Indeed, Thealos would not be alone, for in the end, 8 gods would perish in the terrible conflict. Andreana, Aromar, Sabrine, Verdana, Flamerach, Slajiv, and even Sylvain, the leader of the gods of goodness. All of these would be slain during the gods' war. Sylvain at the hands of the 4 lords themselves. And verily, my children, those who were ordained as immortals by the Creator himself, came to know that they were not. Yes, Cameramandy, that is a great tale, yes?
So I had this thought while you were reading it.
Yes, cut to yourself right now.
Okay.
Let's push the button.
Here, we'll do this. Okay, have you ever heard of the forum? It's on Reddit. It's called Am I the Asshole?
No. But
Okay.
no, actually, it's true. That's not true. I have heard people speak of it. I don't really know much about it.
That's fine. But it's basically people go on this forum and they am I the a-hole?
Yes, I've already said it 5 times already. So.
And they write a description of what, from their perspective of what happened. And I just imagined all of these gods having this text chat where they're asking each other, am I the a-hole here?
Well,
am I the bad guy?
we tried really hard to give perspective on the race, on the gods of evil. right?
Yeah.
Because that was the idea, right? Was they were all supposed to be working together for the balance, right, of this kind of thing, right? And so, the gods of evil don't think they're assholes. No, they don't. They think that, right, because they think they're justified because their people got kind of screwed by the peoples and the gods of goodness and neutrality. So who is?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a good tale, isn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, and everyone in the chat is saying that you read it really well. And Scottish Duff said you should do audiobooks, which is what we were working on.
We started that, my friend. Yes, we did. But I tell you, I love this tale, and Joshie sort of started this, and I kind of added to it, and it really came together as just one of these little pieces of lore, like Zyathé and all of these things, and her meeting Jinx, and all of these things that we have done to sort of underpin this world and really give it life and breath, But this, this tale is beautiful, and Thealos, right, who did, as the goddess of martyrs, sacrificed herself for the one she loved. I mean, it's magnificent.
Josh says, thanks for reading this, Kim, and working with me on it.
Josh, it's my pleasure, and thank you and Kevin and really AJ and you and Carrie, magnificent. And of course, there's so many people who go into this. We got people who are proofreading it and reviewing it, right? We've got the wonderful artists who wait till you see the book. Oh my gosh! Did you all get to see that beautiful image of Luna Glow Lake? I don't know because camera Mehdi was in the.
I didn't pull it, but
yeah, you should pull it. You should pull it. But
we were at 11 o'clock.
All right.
Yeah, we'll show some more
next
art
chapter,
next week.
the next chapter is called "The Maker Awakens," and so this is where Avova comes forth, right? And if you've read Cyclopedia Zyathé Volume 1, and we'll talk about the Red Star. Now you will understand finally where the Red Star came from. You will understand all of this, which comes together in this magnificent crescendo, right? Which is happening right now in the world of Zyathé. It is so exciting.
It is so exciting.
And what is the most exciting to me is that we have something that no one else has done, Camera Mehdi. We have a world that truly is collaborative with our friends and fans. And people have given things to the Mournwood, which are there.
Thank you.
Oh, the giveaway.
Yes, Dr. Ransom Keys, that would be Patrick.
Yes, you are smart, Patrick. That's an excellent job. Hashtag LLL for Legends,
maps.
Lore, and Libation, and hashtag maps for the map, for the squishy, dice pad map thing that goes behind your screen. Camera Mehdi, I have to get one of those. It's going to go on my new table.
Yeah, they're available. So if you don't win it here, they are currently available for purchase on the website at gooeycube.com/merch.
Yes, and we got the mugs, and we've got the grognard shirt, right? Chet's shirt isn't up yet, right?
No, Chet did a beautiful piece of art for us. We have some things to post, but I need to finish that shirt. We need to put the text on it.
Yes, we got to get that done.
But Chet did a beautiful piece of art for the Mournwood. That will be an exclusive Mournwood merch.
And I want you all to know this. Gooey Cube is very committed to serving our friends in the community. I know it has taken us lifetimes, and we are still not there, but we are still committed to getting our Gooey store up.
We try really
all of
hard.
This stuff. It's just, my friends, you do not know how much work we put in, and I myself spend a lot of very late nights. Camera Mehdi knows, because we have day jobs, right? And trying to keep Zyathé going as well as keep our business going and all of that stuff. It's hard. It's very, very hard. So please forgive us for our lateness with things and all of that stuff. And we're getting very close on the Mournwood, but obviously the situation with my son-in-law, David, impacted us greatly over the last 2 to 3 weeks. And we are just now kind of getting back to it. So, but I think you're going to love the Mournwood campaign. I think it is magnificent. I think you are going to just be enamored with Blood for the Khan, which of course is to honor our friends Donnie and Andrea at the Genghis Khan, and we want to continue to have you contribute to the world and bring your ideas and your fun characters and your goofy places and your just no more teleporting shops, right? We're not doing that ever again. And again, as we close, thank you all for your magnificent love and support and friendship as we went through a really, and are still going through it, but went through a most terrible time in real life. We are getting better. Kimmy's getting better. Carla, who is David's mom, is getting better. And it hit them the hardest, of course, but all of us love David dearly, and we miss him. And we are going to do our best not to forget him. So we have some things we want to do. One of them being, of course, having you meet him in the Guys and Gags project. So, and I would appreciate as we move forward to Guys and Gags if you would consider very heartily about telling your friends about this one. It's going to be very special. There's going to be, I think, some incredibly collectible things. And I think it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful adventure that will harken back to the 80s and 70s and the 90s, even when all of this wonderful thing was beginning. So in the 70s and the 80s, really more than the 90s. All right, my friends. I got nothing else, Camera Mandy. This is good for today. This was good.
I think that was great.
I apologize for not sending out an invite. By the way, just reminding you all, if you would please like this Twitch page if you haven't done that, and please do respond to those invites. I think Facebook messes around with us if we don't get a lot of people saying yes, no, or maybe. And you can say no, it's not a problem. I think actually responding helps us. So, all right. Looking forward to next week. We will continue with the Mournwood stuff. We got some other special things I want to talk about next week, and we're getting close to Guys and Gags. So we'll keep you in the loop, as it were. All right, my friends. As the kids said earlier, may all your adventures be sticky. Aha!